like halfway through the day, just having a nice relaxing Tuesday, watching some amazing Team Fortress 2, where both of these teams have now readied up, and they're going to make their way towards Gully Wash Middle. This map really, layout-wise, of course, it is a different thing, but playstyle-wise, it is about the same as you play Balance. It is very standard in Europe, and it is very refined out. Now, let's see how both of these teams, last man standing in the blue, and 90 degrees FOV eSports in the red, going to be able to fight this one out. ETF2L week number 7, ladies and gentlemen, of Season 15, where Forsaken goes down first.
Yeah, I also want to note that Whiteglow is on Crits Creek right now. He's going to get the Uber, or the crits, sorry, just a little bit sooner, but, a little bit of a mistake there. They lost a couple too many players. With Forsaken going down, they're going to have to back out a choke. And here they come now, around towards the big door, maybe considering a Crits Creek play surprise. And yes, they do crits in. Mighty Me, key pick onto Cost. Great job there. Captain Hacks with the rest of the crits, able to get taken down there by Rekko. And Rekko picks up another one there on a Suckper. That's 3 down there now, so they just baited them in, backed out a weird mid-play pledge. They backed out and they just crits back in and take it.
Yeah, we've been seeing this time after time lately this season, where teams like to play crit streak, and Whiteglow specifically, he's a medic that just loves that crit streak. I think the sparkle on it just sort of amazes him. I think he drinks a lot of vodka, and the sparkle just kind of hits him during those weird scenarios that you see coming out from Last Man Standing. They're going to try and push through here, but in all honesty, you really do not want to do that when there's 4 people waiting on that choke area for you to come through, and now without War and without Rekko, hitting this crit streak is going to be hard as it is.
Yeah, bit of a mistake by them to just throw some players in before they got their crits, but here it is now. They have 100%, moving their way towards choke. Rake picks up another one on the sick list, and without the scouts, I don't know if they should even bother using the crits in here. We do see Salmon taking out the soldier here on mid as the crits comes in. Can Mighty Me get anything like his frag video? No, Delzik takes him down there, and Whiteglow's crits was just for naught. He goes taken down there by Salmon at the choke. And it's only the scouts alive for LMS, and they're just not playing together. They're just very disjointed here, Pledge.
Let's see if 90 degrees is going to be able to make their way through as they come now throughout that choke area. Forsaken is sniping. I know he's an okay sniper. He's going to see the demo. Is the medic going to make his way through? It looks like Koss really is not going to care for it, at least for the time being. Sees the demo, not going to hit the shot, at least for the time being. Obviously, right now, everyone is going to make their way towards that resup, so obviously that entryway got locked out. Koss is going to be completely safe, and with this full Uber advantage now making their way into last, surely, I say, surely 90 degrees FOV should be able to pick up this round.
You know, I really like the decision for crits sometimes, you know, and Mighty Me is such a strong demo man, but sometimes it's just not right. And then you see here now, the 90 degree FOV Uber is just way more consistent. They're just coming in now, Suckber throwing stickies and taking down the pocket as well as the demo man with the help of Delzik. And Rekko as a heavy is going to get focus fire down here as well. 90 degrees just picking up a classic round here on this last point, making it 1-0. And sometimes you just need that Uber for that consistency.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, right now we can see a better start, I think we can say, of a map for 90 degrees here. As obviously, they were 4-0 down on that first map, took it back, almost equalized it up. But the speed and the strength they had over Last Man Standing at the end of that map is going to make its way over onto Gully Wash at the moment as they pick up that 1-0 lead. And really, 90 degrees, they're going to try and keep that tempo into the game. They like what they're doing so far. Unless Subcur goes down, I think they're going to be aggressive here.
Delzik picking up a kill on a Rekko without their scout. They're just giving up too much space here. It's Forsaken and Mighty Me getting caught out at the choke. It's hard to watch. I mean, they're jumping into mid just fine, but they're not getting aggressive at all. They're letting 90 degree FOV walk all over them, and you can see from the mids on Badlands and also Gully Watch that they're just the superior team that we're watching. But let's see if they can actually convert the map.
At the moment, but again, like you say, they need to convert it at some point. As Whiteglow, yes, he does have the Uber charge, so obviously this last is going to be a little bit easier than it was last time around. Obviously, if they didn't have that Uber charge. Now, 6 versus 6, both teams have Uber. How are they going to play this one out? From my experience, from what I've seen from both of these teams all season long, there's a standard push coming out first, and then is when they come into this sort of, yeah, exactly, there we go, standard push coming out. They're going to try and play the point here. They're going to be able to cap that one off, usually not. And that is what we can see as the Uber comes out. Well played to Whiteglow and the rest of the team for stacking that point at the very last second. Able to pick up pretty much all the bodies as Salmon is the last man standing.
Again, this is the same problem we saw on Badlands. We see Salmon actually hiding in I guess I call it a gay spot in lobby. Here he might be going for it now, but he gets spotted out and denied. Anyways, the point I was trying to make was that they do a great job on the mids, but then they just throw it away when it comes to last. Even Ubers, you don't want to be flashing everybody and stacking the point because the enemy team's just going to Uber and deny you there. And LMS now, with an advantage, ready to push mid.
Yeah, let's say 65% right now onto Whiteglow. Rake takes down Rekko though. And this is the thing about Rake, we didn't see it come out on Badlands, but the guy's a mean sniper. he is really not something you want to sort of have standing around. And Gully Wash is a map where you can do that, where Ray can play that sniper role, where he can play it more than he can on Badlands, and really be a nuisance towards everything that is blue at the moment. He looks towards that left, the soldier sees him, he's not going to go for the shot though this time around, as him and the AWP are going to sort of walk towards his left hand side, sees the scout, misses the shot, is going to be able to get taken down, and that was a good exchange. Yes, they used the Uber, but in all honesty, they're going to come back in here, Slin.
Meanwhile, Salmon came up the drop down, and he's actually snuck behind the enemy team and does take down the medic from behind. Nice job there taking down White Glow. And the Uber comes in now from 90 degree FOV. They're just cleaning up players here now. A 3-on-3 is going on mid. Mighty Me hits the first pipe, doesn't get it to go on the second one there, but Sickless is able to come in and finish that one off, and now Koss is in a lot of trouble. He's getting cornered out here. Is he going to make it out alive? No, he gets piped down by Mighty Me, who picks up a second frag there now, and LMS are just moving their way in towards second point.
Last one standing right now, going to see what they can do as they just gather up here onto this more middle area with everything they had respawning. Are they going to be able to pick up the second point? I doubt it. Yeah, Rake picks up 2 right there. Very well played to him. In all honesty, 90 degrees, their spawns were just a little bit too close, but now they're overextending a little bit because Captain Axe basically caught off guard here, and he's going to have to drop all the way back. White Glow goes down into the in the process, though. And even if they can manage to pick up this point, I doubt they can. They actually do end up picking it up, but 90 degrees is going to fight for this one, and I like the exchange that they have so far. Unless they get back-apped by Sickless, I think there's too many spawners for him to back-up that, though. Yeah, there you go. A soldier just spawns, no problem whatsoever.
He's to the high ground.
Is Sickless really winning this duel? Is that really happening? It looks like, no, the point is going to be able to get picked up here. No, Slin, I got a little bit excited, but in the end, Sickless not going to be able to prevail against that soldier.
That's exactly the right approach he had, though, and it just pulls players back from 90 degree FOV just a little bit longer, but still, he's going to go down. And 90 degree FOV, with the Uber advantage, they captured mid, and this is their chance to take this round here now.
Say 90 degrees, having that full Uber advantage. Obviously, let's see if they can slowly make their way on towards here. Yeah, the Uber gets forced by Forsaken. I like it, but again, it's going to basically give them the point for free. That's what they're doing, right? They're walking into lobby, not giving them any space, and even though that Uber got forced very early, they're not really going to mind taking the second point, basically, for free anyway.
Yeah, the force is what you need, though, so they don't roll into last with the Uber, and that's exactly what happened there. White Glow now, they actually do have 2 picks, so there's a potential for Last Man Standing to push their way out here with this 70% Uber advantage, and they gotta be careful about it. Warherya is going for it, though, and ooh, yeah, like I said, you gotta be careful because they popped the Uber way too early, and looks like Suckber and Koss have backed themselves out appropriately. So
it's the exact same thing, right? Basically what happened a second ago, Force comes out, you take a point for free, and then it basically goes the exact opposite way. This time, there's one difference. As that Finnish superstar scout Rake has picked up the sniper rifle, and let's see if he can manage to get a pick in. Soldier's managed to make his way in, going to be trying to go aggressive, got shot down in the air, well played by Salmon, and right now a 6 versus 5 with an Uber advantage. They really want to try and make this one better this time around, as in, don't use the Uber but still cap off the point, or do use the Uber but actually kill a couple of players. It looks like that's exactly what they do. They hold on towards this Uber for a long time and they pick off the second point. So a win here for 90 degrees as they make their way into last, Slin.
Yeah, and this could be an easy round for them if they just take the medic down, but you gotta take him down right now. White Glow, 90% Uber. Can he get it in time? Sickless goes down. They're down 3 players, but White Glow is dodging his way around here and does pick up the Uber. Great job there. Gets towards the point to block the catch just a little bit longer. Needs to stall just 2 more seconds for Mighty Me to come up, and he's done that. Rake is gonna get pressured out off of the balcony there, and Suckper is not gonna be able to do anything from underneath. So a great hold there from LMS, just barely getting that Uber in time. Rekko pushes the lobby and does take down the demo ban. And they can actually potentially push out this off Uber.
Yeah, Rake is going to be key here, though. He's still rocking that AWP, and let's see if he can get the shots down that he needs to. They're probably come from the top. He does get spotted right now by the scout, does not take him down. They are going to come from the top. Rake sees a heal beam, sees a soldier. Soldier's going to jump in, most likely. It's exactly what happens. Rake doesn't hit the shot, surfs his way back, though. And I like what the 90 degrees is doing so far. They know they have the advantage. They know they can hold with that sniper. And with the double kill from Captain Hacks and Delzik probably picking up this frag onto the point right here, they're looking very, very good coming into last here, Slin.
Wow, great frags coming in from 90 degree FOV, so leapfrog that. They've taken down all the fragging classes from LMS now, and it looks like this is going to be 90 degree FOV's round. Warherya and Rekko try and defend it, but no, not going to be enough. And 90 degree FOV go up 2-0, and this is exactly what we needed to see from them in this match. I mean, just taking mid and then just playing off of their advantages a little bit slower, and they're actually finally able to break through and play off of LMS's mistakes, and it helps them that Gully Wash is a bit of a slower map to slow them down in their pacing.
Definitely, 90 degrees benefiting from the map at this moment in time. They're going to make their way right through. Third middle, ladies and gentlemen, and so far it's been a 2-0 middles. Mighty Me going down. And really, I don't see that pace changing anytime soon. The kill comes down onto Delzik. And again, we said this on Battle. Delzik are the guys consistently looking for each other. You can see very clearly that 90 Degrees FOV eSports, they make their way and they just ignore the scouts as much as they can. They try and kill players from the heavy classes side, and every single time they do it, they manage to pick up these middle points. Third middle also goes into the red hands. Are they going to be able to break through this choke area? They take down Forsaken, and now against a fully charged Uber, they need to be a little bit careful. But Whiteglow, in my opinion, he has no clue that he has an advantage as big as it was.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be an Uber exchange here at the choke as Captain Hack's down to just 5 health. Gets finished there by Rekko right as the Uber is popped there for LMS. Nice surf there by Cost to make it out alive, but they've lost 3 players now pushing in towards second point. So even though Forsaken's bomb didn't work, they still did the job. And now, I don't know why, but this Uber's been popped at mid, and this is just going to be the worst Uber of all time, 3 on 6. And now they have to try and defend mid with no Uber. They're down 2 players still, and here comes LMS to try and get those frags.
Yeah, you can just see it happening, right? As soon as they lost 1 or 2 players and an Uber come out, you were like, no. Okay, this game is going to change right now. Last man standing doing exactly what they need to do. They're a little bit slow on execution, but they are walking immediately through and probably going to be able to pick up the second point basically for free. They lose Forsaken, but he's a roamer that always gets lost. That's just what he does. It's not a maze, ladies and gentlemen, but that's what he does. As there's a fight breaking out on the second point. I do not like the fight breaking out, but you know what? The guys from 90 Degrees did? They just flanked all the way, and that seemed like a great idea. Cost 75% Uber. He is going to get taken down, and Whiteglow with 4 HP, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be able to pop his.
Wow.
As you can see, 90 Degrees right now, they're not going to be able to hold on to this one, most likely.
Whiteglow is just a fantastic medic. I've been seeing him make clutch plays all game long between the Uber on last and the Uber right here that we just saw. And now with a 3-man advantage, they're trying to get into last, but they're trying to push from underneath. Forsaken bombs in, does pick off the demo man, but everyone else goes down from LMS. And 90 Griffey were able to hold that one off with the trail end of that Uber disadvantage there now. So they're looking to push out of this, but I don't know if this is the right decision.
Oh, let's have a little bit of a look here. As 90 Degrees, yeah, they're going, but we've seen them make this mistake on Badlands a couple of times. I don't think there's a backup or anything whatsoever. So we can see last man standing. They're going to decide, okay, you know what, we're going to give it up, but we know we have the advantage here. So let's hold on to Whiteglow, manage to keep the guy safe, and as soon as the Russian medic hits that Uber charge, they're going to make their way through. The question is, can they execute this as well as 90 Degrees did? Last time, 90 Degrees didn't have to use their Uber and took the second point. Here we go.
Now Suckbird goes down here as well to Sickless, and they lost 3 players now before the Uber's even gone off. Whiteglow now chasing it to last with Warher. Yeah, can they get any more frags? I mean, at this point, it doesn't even matter if they get more frags. They just need the medic. They got him, and finally, LMS taking back a round to make it 2-1. 90 Degree FOV still in the lead. They just need to tighten up their game.
There's a complete copy of last round, right, Slin? You saw very clearly Uber advantage, drop back to middle, rotate around the choke, and then try and milk that Uber. Make sure you don't have to use it on that second point unless you can kill players. They held on to it, managed to catch 90 Degrees off guard, picked up the round, and now, obviously, this game is wide open once again.
Forsaken early bomb in towards the demo man. Can he get Suckbird down? Yes, with the help of the other soldier, they do pick him off. Delzik, though, picks off the roamer Forsaken. So it looks like another kill going in favor of the Red Scouts. Rake getting another one there, and that's going to force the combo for LMS out. 90 Degree FOV taking yet another mid.
Yeah, it's the 4th one in a row, basically. So you can see Sickler still just a little bit caught on towards that point, and he just got juggled by a couple of Finnish members. Well, I say Finnish in all honesty. Koss, obviously, and Captain Hacks recently came to join their reigns. They're not completely Finnish anymore, but in my heart, they're still Finnish.
I just don't want them to make a mistake here where they have a bad Uber, and actually they didn't make that mistake. The Uber actually comes in first from LMS to try and block the capture. They do block it, but at what cost? They've lost their pocket soldier here now. Forsaken hits a nice air shot though, but Whiteglow and Forsaken both going to go down, and 90 Degree FOV capitalizing on this poor play from LMS, and they're going to take it straight to last.
Look at the points on the Delzik at the moment. You can see we praised him on Badlands, right, Slin? And we can do that exact same thing here on Gully Wars. 90 Degrees are going to make their way in as both of these scouts are going to break into a fight here with everything that is blue at this moment in time. They're going to pick up the round 3-1, ladies and gentlemen. And Delzik is having a fantastic day so far, hitting the shots when he needs to. And really, Rekko on the other side is having a fantastic day as well. The scout duels between those two have been phenomenal. But again, 90 Degrees, especially on this map, seems to be winning the sort of heavy classes battle over on the main side of the battlefield.
Well, it looks like Suckbird is going to take some early damage here as we approach the 5th mid-fight. Forsaken and Rekko finally picking up kills early on there as Rake and Delzik go down. And without their scouts, 90 Degrees, again, just going to back off right off of this. At least they keep their medic alive. But going back to the previous round, I think that LMS are making some you know, questionable plays trying to defend second point here now, but it looks like it's their turn now to push the second point as the even Ubers are going to go in towards second.
Yeah, we're exactly halfway through the game at the moment, 15 minutes left on the clock, and this is what we saw on Badlands. Maybe not as drastic, but just the teams are both sort of figuring out exactly what they're doing. This point, there's no way this point is going to get blocked. I don't really know if I like what 90 Degrees is doing at the moment, Slin, as they are very, very vulnerable to any sort of flank. They need some kills, but there's a lot of pressure onto last here as War picks up a kill. Sickles goes down on last, though. But in all honesty, 90 Degrees, was it worth it? I guess they won the exchange, so in that regard you can say yes, but all they did really was get the Ubers out of the exchange, Ubers out of the equation. That's pretty much what I was trying to say. I lost my words right there. But the Blues at the moment and the Reds taking it easy, building their Ubers up. Let's see if they can make a play before those Ubers hit.
We're just passing the halfway mark in this match, about 14 minutes left on the clock, and so with plenty of time left, this is a good decision by Last Man Standing to just slow things down, you know, play off a sick list sniping, and then see if you can go from there, and that's not going to let 90 Degree FOV push out of this. You do see that sniper coming in from the lower side, and Forsaken looked like he was going for a bomb there, but actually decides better of it, backs his way out, and speaking of Forsaken, he's been not having the best game this match, but it looks like that Uber is going to come in from LMS pledge.
Yeah, I'd say Sickles really not going to be able to do anything in this Uber versus Uber fight unless he hits some sort of magnificent shot. It should be about right now, ladies and gentlemen. The Sniper gets important, but Forsaken goes down first. As the kill onto Rake now happens, it's a 1 for 2, 2 for 2 at the moment. Rekko comes in and really wrecking pretty much everything that he can see. Deals a lot of damage before eventually getting shot down by Delzik. And obviously now it's the Finnish counterpart's turn as he just comes out and hits the shot that he needs to. Mighty Me manages to pick him off 2, 3 pipes in a row already, but his buddy Rake has respawned just in the nick of time in order to hold on towards the second point. And now 90 Degrees, again, shifting gears from defense onto offense. It's one of those things that in the Premiership and in Division 1 has been defining good and bad teams. Is 90 Degrees going to be able to shift effectively, or are they just going to have to walk back way to last?
You do see Captain Hack's in a lot of trouble. He was chasing a medic out towards the yard, but now he's going to get pushed back by the soldiers from LMS who are able to keep the lock down. And that's all that really matters here, is that, you know, maybe you fail your blast push a couple times, but 90 Degrees can't seem to break out of this. It's even Ubers here now. They better not try anything, but Delzik is able to pick up a kill on the bombing soldiers. They're going for a 3-4-man sack. This isn't even a sacrifice play. They're just going for a straight up push here off Uber, which is the weirdest decision ever, but they got it to work. They took down costs, and now Whiteclow with the Uber should be able to defend the second point here easily. Nice air pipe by Mighty Me. He juggled him up with a sticky and just took him down.
You kind of don't want to Uber though here when you're last man standing. You want to block the point though. Okay, if you Uber, you want to block the point. I was almost scared for them that they're going to let that one go. But as you can see, you Uber, yeah, you secure the point, but in all honesty, you're not going to pick up any frags, clearly. They do pick up break though at the very, very end. That means they have a 12-second window to push 6 versus 5. Let's see if they want to take that window. It looks like they're going to try and force their way through on the top right-hand side, and losing Rekko's probably going to put a dent into that push. They're going to take it easy for the time being. Maybe suicide. I would not be surprised he's Forsaken suicide in.
Both these teams are having tremendous troubles pushing their way in towards last. Sickless underneath the last point there goes down to Salmon. It's just hard to watch. I mean, they just keep botching it over and over again, and they just need to slow it down and play off a number advantage, a clear number advantage, and they're going for these even over pushes that aren't working. Suckfer taking down Forsaken in the lobby. That's going to put 90 Degrees at a 2-man advantage. They easily capture the second point. Uber's exchange on the flank. Can LMS make something happen here? This isn't really the best decision, but they're blocking the point anyways. They're down a player, and here comes the soldiers now. Delzik able to pick up 2 onto Mighty Me. Warrior, yeah, and Captain Hacks picks up a 3rd onto Whiteclow, the medic at the choke. And like I said, LMS going for a block on second point, and then just not the right decision.
I didn't like that block at second point at all. Like, they got 2 point fixated. They were like, okay, the point, we cannot let them back cap, right? We cannot let them cap because then we lose spawn advantage. Let's all hug the point. And whilst they did that, they just got caught in all the area of effect spam you saw coming all over the place. And as 90 Degrees managed to pick that one up, right now it looks like Last Man Standing in a little bit of trouble.
Wow.
So they're going to have to try and hold on to last here with an Uber disadvantage.
You can see that second point hold that they attempted basically cost them 3 points. They lost their second point, their middle point, and then their own second point. So Salmon picks up a kill on Rekko. That puts 90 Degrees at a 1-man advantage. And with cost so close to Uber here now, this is looking really bad for LMS.
Let's see how they're going to try and push. 95, 100. It's perfect timing, right? And they're going to do that point push again. Now, there's no Uber to block it, though. So what they're going to do is they're just going to rush that point. You can see the Delman trying to stick it up. Medic keeping his scouts alive. There you go. If you do it against a team without Uber, that works. If you do it against a team with Uber, they're going to be able to block it and usually counter you super, super hard. This time around, though, very well executed by 90 Degrees FOV. It's a tactic to put in your tactics book, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching this cast and you're having trouble with pushing with Gully Wars last, if you have an advantage, just do that. It's not that difficult.
Again, if you guys are just joining us here now, this is a relegation match for the ETF2L Premiership. Both these teams tied at a record of 1-9, and LMS are down 3 rounds with just 10 minutes to go. They need to make something happen here on this mid, but they aren't able to do it. Salmon is able to take down Whiteglow, Mighty Me, and Rake going down to the extremely great team play from 90 Degree FOV, and they pick up yet another mid here. So this is exactly what 90 Degrees need to win the second map.
Yeah, it's 90 Degrees so far. There's been 6 middles in total. 5 of them have been picked up by them. And the only time they lost the middles was when Delzig went down first, due to the amazing scout play of Rekko. And really, every single time, it comes down to those two fighting off against each other. And every time the pick comes out, they manage to win the middle. Good Uber Force there from Forsaken, though. Might be able to give them a chance at holding last here.
Rake underneath the last point, goes for the one-man pick and does take out Mighty Me in the 1v1 without a buff. Incredible play there. He was hiding in the pipes. Now he's going for the point. The double scout capture takes the round 5-1. And this is match point here now for 90 Degree FOV. Sorry to interrupt you there, Pledge.
No, it's fine. Don't worry. It was a very good spot, in all honesty. I completely missed that one out. And Whiteglow, Slin, I'm gonna let you in a little bit of secret. If Whiteglow plays for a team and they end up losing, he's gonna go crit streak. And that's what we see happening now. That's what he does. That's what any Whiteglow team ever does. I like the decision. They need to change something, right? Might as well change the color of your minigun. They're going to make their way through right now. They get the first pick onto Rekko. And again, you see that every single time. It is the first scout frag that comes in, either on Rekko or on Gelzik. They love to fight each other. And the first scout pick is really going to decide that middle straight off once again.
Well, Whiteglow just moments away from getting this crit streak, but Koss is doing a great job of building and keeping up with him actually here now. Koss now 80% Uber. Whiteglow has that crits. Let's see how it goes here as Mighty Me pulls out the pipes and stickies at the choke. I'm not quite sure this is the right decision, and Suckbear pushes right past him and takes down his medic. Good pipe there from Mighty Me, but gets finished off by Delzik there. And now Koss with full Uber advantage, pushing in towards second point. This could be the match right there.
They really had no idea that they were as close as they were, right? You saw that very clearly. They were sitting right there and they were like, oh crap, they're right here. We're going to miss all our stickies. And we're going to end up dying, as the 90 Degrees boys played that pretty well. It was a little bit of an accident that they played it well, but they did play it very, very well. As 90 Degrees pushing all their way into last. War gets the body shot kill onto Salmon right now, though. But with that Uber charge ready to rock and roll, they're going to look to close this one out, ladies and gentlemen, and tie up the score.
This is going to be difficult, though. They have no scouts, no soldier, and no demo man now here, as looks like Mighty Me and Forsaken were able to get the kills that they needed. Looks like they're able to hold that last off just a bit longer here. Sickless going for that second cap, and 90 Degrees just a little bit too hasty, botched that push.
Probably, yeah. So we can see Rake now going for the shot, sees the other sniper. It looks like a sniper double scout tactic coming out from Last Man Standing. And really, this is not undoable for Last Man Standing. By the way they've been playing, it is going to be unbelievably difficult. But 90 Degrees managed to do it last map, right? So it is doable. The time is there. You can see Last Man Standing actually now getting the double kills there onto Salmon and onto Rake. It is doable, guys. That's really all I want to say. Just so that on the off chance it does happen, I can say I told you so.
Well, 90 Degrees here now on the defensive as the Uber comes in from Whiteglow. Warher, is on sniper, so that's Forsaken running around with this Uber, and he's not doing the best job with it. He's actually just landed a rocket on the Koss, but isn't able to finish him off. Gets completely destroyed there by 90 Degree FOV and the rest of the team. But still, that was a great enough of a distraction for that second point to go down. Koss with a 60% advantage, looking to push out of this though.
I don't really mind it too much, in honesty. There, managed to get 3 points out of that one mistake. Again, you know, this second round in a row that we see this. One clear mistake or a couple of players overextending can lose you 3 rounds very quickly. And now 90 Degrees is going to say, well, we're 5-1 up, but let's keep on pushing anyway. We don't want to lose the momentum, which is what Last Man Standing did on Badlands. So they're going to keep on pushing onto this. I like the Uber onto Captain Axe very, very late. They're going to make their way right now through. Are they going to be able to cap off the second point? That seems crucial to me. It looks like they're going to have no problems doing that whatsoever. Last Man Standing, no. They have the Uber advantage. And the clear question again from 3 rounds ago, can they pick off second point without having to use their Uber? That is going to be the main question.
Yeah, well, it's on 90 Degrees here to get an early Uber force and then back out without losing any players. They force the Uber, now the second part, but no, they lose Koss. Mighty Me, great job pushing in towards the lobby with a sticky, able to finish him off there. And now they just need to stay tight, play together, and not lose their medic. There is a soldier hiding behind the point. I think that is Salmon there.
He's gone.
Looks
He's
like
choke now.
Okay, so it looks like they're just dancing around here, but White Glow stayed alive, that's what's important. They need to re-push with heals right now, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're coming out of the flank, Forsaken with the shoddy out, looking for something, looking for anything. There's no players there. 90-degree FOV are actually going for some sort of mid-back cap here, so they're going to give up their second point for free, which is a questionable play, and now White Glow, 30% advantage, ready to push into last and take a round.
Yeah, let's see if they're going to be able to manage to make that one work. They do have an advantage. War's playing Sniper. He's going to be crucial to watch, but in all honesty, they really don't want to push her. Last one standing, you don't want to do it, guys. Just wait for the Uber and push down. You don't want to do it now, because we've seen this happening. Sickless is already on the point. They're going to try and force something. Can they do it? Or are we going to see a botch push again? They can do it this time around. They're not going to wait.
What?
The 5-2 comes out, ladies and gentlemen. That was well executed. Sickless coming down from the bottom. Actually, his buddy Rico helping him out from the front. Very, very, very well played there by Last Man Standing. And the one thing that I do want to point out, Slin, before we actually hit this middle, Delzic's points are unreal high.
Yeah, he is having an incredible game there as well, and I was on the same page as you there, Pledge. I thought it was a bad push, but it worked out for them, and now they need to take a lot more rounds, though. They're down 3, 4.5 minutes to go. Forsaken pushing up the enemy choke there, and doing a great job of zoning them out. That's going to allow his team to finally win a mid, as Rekko picks up Salmon, and this is the first mid I think we've seen LMS win on this map.
Yeah, again, like, it seems if Rekko doesn't die from the start, and oh, Suckber actually, that is, I cannot help but feel really, really bad at seeing that, as right now, ladies and gentlemen, there's really only 4 minutes left on the clock. There's no time to waste. And that is the way that Last Man Standing is playing right now. They force that Uber exchange. Delzic goes down. That is not something you want to do. Focus that heavy, guys. You want to focus the heavy down. As 125 HP, he now switches class. War gets the shot onto Koss. And that shot might actually be a complete lifesaver here for Last Man Standing. As they're make their way in, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. And I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. It is possible, ladies and gentlemen. As there's a 5-3 right now onto the board, anything is still possible.
They played that exactly the way that they needed to. They rushed their way in towards last, forcing him, not letting 90-degree FOV take a chance to breathe. And they just won that round on sheer force. War saved that round for them and got them that. So now we see the next mid. Delzic on the point. Can he save this round for the rest of his team and get them that win? Rake picks up the kill on a Sickless, but Rake and Suckber going down to that incredible sniping from War. He's doing a great job there. Delzic, meanwhile, closes in on the medic and takes down White Glow. He takes down Forsaken there as well with a great meat shot as my dog is barking at me with a 3 kill from Delzic. He's just celebrating Delzic's win.
Oh, Delzic's win. Can he actually... If anyone is going to do this, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be Delzic. Because this guy has had an absolutely unbelievable game so far. And look at that. He backs off and builds the Uber for his medic. That is a high-level Prem scout, ladies and gentlemen. A guy who completely carries the crap out of your team at the moment. With all the points that he has, all the kills, all the capture points, everything that he does. And then just builds the Uber very, very casually. As 90 Degrees is going to try and hold on towards this middle. They manage to do that. Unless War gets some sort of insane hair shot. Okay, the force from Forsaken. I don't mind that whatsoever. Last man standing still in the running for this one. But it's going to be unbelievably difficult.
Yeah, Delzic and Rake putting the team on their back, getting the frags that they need, and taking the Uber even from Koss. And yeah, this time is just ticking itself away here now. 2 minutes! LMS need to make something happen. They have the Uber advantage. This is their chance. They need to just roll it in, take it to last, and that's their chance to tie up this game. But no, Suckber is all over this. He's just sticking up that big door and denying them completely, taking down Mighty Me. And without the Diddleman, I don't think this Uber is going to be very good from LMS, but here it goes.
They're going to try and see if they can break through onto this one as 90 Degrees FOV. He's going to come... they're going to try and defend. I thought they were going to move the other way, but it looks like Koss 88 HP. He's going to be able to make it out of this one. He's going to get chased, though. As we can see the scout actually coming from the back, completely getting caught off guard. I was looking at Rake's point of view. He had no idea that was about to happen. And well played by Last Man Standing. They both attacked very aggressively and defended as well as they possibly could at the exact same time. With the 5-3 on the board, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, with still 90 seconds left on the clock, theoretically things are possible, but Salmon really putting just a dent into that plan coming out from Last Man Standing.
Yeah, it's not possible here now. Salmon is doing a great job here, but he goes down to Forsaken, who picks up 2 kills after taking down Rake. Forsaken actually closing in on a soldier in lobby. He picks up a 3rd kill. Nice job by him, and that's a good turnaround, but honestly, there's no time left on the clock. A minute left, and the rollout takes 20 seconds, so I don't think this is going to happen. Yeah,
that kill from Salmon was absolutely crucial. If they managed to pick up that middle, they had forward spawns, they had the aggression. In all honesty, time-wise, theoretically, it was still possible. That was really all I was going at, but at the moment, that block from Salmon was crucial, and now time-wise, it is not possible anymore, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you that one. They are going to try, though, because obviously, you got to keep in mind, maybe maybe score different does matter. If they can't put the 5-4 on the board, that means that both of these teams have a perfect tie, basically, right? Because both of these teams have exactly the same round difference on both of their map wins. In all honesty, guys, unless something completely crazy happens somewhere over the next week, I'm going to imagine that both of these teams are going to have to play against each other again next week in order to decide who's going to relegate straight to Division 1.
Yep, looks like that's going to be a tie there as Rake takes down White Glow without their medic, without their Devilman. They're not going to be able to win this last point. Great job there from 90-degree FOV in a clutch moment to take that second map, 5-3. So it looks like LMS won the first one, 4-3, and
yeah, 5-3.
Yeah, 90-degree won 5-3. I think we were talking about a 5-3, 4-3. Something about that earlier.
We spoke about it before the game, right? If both of these, if they both win one map each, they're completely tied, and they both now have 6 points instead of they both have 3 points. So that means that 90-degree FOV tomorrow is going to be playing against Revolution La Meta game. If they win or take points from that one, they're going to be in good shape. If they lose, however, on Thursday we can see the other game actually happening. Between Last Man Standing and I'm quite sure it is Solar, who's probably going to be able to secure 4th place. But with all those games going live, ladies and gentlemen, it's impossible to predict who is going to end where. The number 4 place is undecided, number 2 and 3 are undecided, and even number 6 to number 8 are completely undecided until the last 2 play days of the regular league, ladies and gentlemen. The ETF2L Premiership has been unbelievably close so far this season on pretty much all the spots, except for Epsilon eSports, who's still reigning supreme, sitting on that top spot with a perfect 4-0 map record. But we're going to be able to have to wait and see exactly what's going to happen tomorrow and on Thursday for that, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have the interviews coming up here in just a little bit. Mr. Rake has already made his way into Mumble, and I'm going to be able to speak to him about FOV's performance today and in what way he's going to think they're going to be able to stay in this Premiership this season, or if they're going to have a lot of trouble tomorrow going up against I'm completely blanking. It's Revolution La Meta game. There you go. Sorry, guys. As that's obviously going to be happening tomorrow. We're going to have a minute or so break, and after we come back, we're going to have the interview and the logs for you guys onto the board so we can analyze the game as we do it as well, and we talk to the pro players. Guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.